Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. This is a little bit high. Let me see if I can bring this down without breaking stuff. This is a little bit better. I guess it'll have to do. Welcome to the weekly live Q&A. My name is Alison, and I don't like this because now it's tilted. This is better. This is what happens when you work past your hours. So, I have a rule that is, I don't work after 7 o'clock. However, it was important to me that I got my lashes done today. And so with that being said, plus I had a session, plus I had group, I had no other choice. I could have just canceled, but I had no other choice but to do this live at 8 o'clock. What does that mean? That your responses are going to be quick and to the point because I am tired and I normally don't work after 7. Welcome to those who are just joining the live. My name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Every Wednesday, I do this live Q&A, normally at 5 p.m. Eastern, but I was delayed because this matters. How it works is that you are to drop your question within this green story. I usually post the question around Tuesday at 5 p.m. and then I take my questions Wednesday at 5 p.m. That's 24 hours for a story. But I knew that today was going to be tough, and so I dropped the question late. Somebody pressed me. I'm like, sis, it's free. Please. I love you. But come on. So I posted it anyway, knowing that I wasn't going to make it in time for 5. But, whatever. Thank you, Shay. Shay says, I'm so happy for you. Welcome, Sam. Welcome, Glitter Showers. It's such a nice name. I like that. Simply B, thank you for joining. Kane, thank you for joining. Christ Iana, hi. God's Love 247, Epitome of Class, hello. Black Barbie, Miss Cindy, Lion Opal. I love all of this. Welcome, everybody. And if you know anyone who you think would enjoy this content, would value this content, hi Jay, how are you, boo? Then please go ahead and share this live with them so that we can welcome them to the land of love. And if you are new to this page, this is the first time that you see me go live, please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and where you are from so that we can welcome you into the land of love. Somebody says, I wish Jesus, thank you for this. You are quite welcome because I'm tired. This is after my time. I don't work after 7. I'm a woman of my word, so I'm here. All right, beautiful people, let us jump right in. First question. Can you mention wanting only a man who's heterosexual as a non-negotiable on a first date? Hello, Ashley from Dallas, Texas. How are you? She seems to have a good attitude. First time joining. I will try to join at 5 on a regular basis. Thank you, because I feel like I'm coming across a little attitude because I'm tired. So I appreciate that. Can you mention wanting only a man who is heterosexual as a non-negotiable on a first date? Welcome, Sandra from Staten Island, now coming from Jersey. Gabby, who is from St. Louis. Okay, so this is what I would say. I would say that it is not inappropriate to ask someone what their sexual orientation is, right? I don't think that's inappropriate. However, I would imagine that a lot of these conversations can happen before the first date. So what I recommend to my clients is whatever your non-negotiables are, I always say you should have 5 to 6 non-negotiables, right? Whatever your non-negotiables are, you should start collecting that information because dating is data. When you are dating, when you're getting to know someone, you're collecting information over time so you can assess whether or not they're a good match for you. You should be assessing this information perhaps before the first date, whatever you can, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. If you're taking me on a date, you're the one who's paying for it. So I'm asking some of these heavy-hitting questions as well as the light and easy questions too. I'm asking early in the game. And so if it's important that the man that you date is heterosexual, meaning not bisexual, not pan, nothing else other than heterosexual, then that's a conversation I would have even before the first date, right? That's something that's important to you, so that's a conversation that should be had early in the game. I will tell you, based on my experience, that for gentlemen specifically, many times they may not share if they don't identify as a heterosexual man, or if they identify as someone who used to be, right? They may not be forthcoming because in society, especially in the Black community, many times it's frowned upon by Black women for Black men to not exclusively identify as heterosexual, especially if it's not for their whole life. So at one point you were one thing and then now you're something else. Many times they're not going to be very forthcoming about their sexual identity, right? Or sexual preference is what I should say. As a result, you may not get the truth. That's the nature of the game for any question that you ask, right? You may not get the quote unquote truth. However, if there's something that's imperative to you, you should definitely ask it, whatever it is. Whatever your non-negotiables are, those are things that you should be finding out. You should be collecting information on. You should be observing. You should be mentally checking off to see if it is a good fit for you. If it's not a good fit for you, that is your right to move on accordingly. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make him a bad person. It just may not be a good fit for you. Okay? Should the gaps in communication with dating be a concern? Feels like ghosting. Should the gaps in communication with dating be a concern? Feels like ghosting. It depends on how large the gaps are. I can tell you that one of my clients, she texted me a few days ago. So how my program works is that I work with clients for 8 weeks. They learn all the tools necessary to navigate dating. And then they have my direct phone number for 4 months. They could text me whenever about whatever, right? So she texted me, she said she met this new guy. So far, things are going well. He said he would call her in 2 hours. It's been 2 hours. He didn't call. What should she do? I said, wait. This person isn't your man. This person isn't your woman. It's not your wife. It's not your husband. They don't owe you that level of specificity, right? So if someone says, hey, I'm going to call you in 2 hours, especially Black folk, come on now. You can say, I'm going to call you right back and be tomorrow, right? So that level of specificity and that expectation, that standard sometimes is unrealistic. And I find that especially women will hold their potential partners to an outrageously high standard. He said 2 hours, it's been 2 hours. Okay, has it been 2 days? This is not your man. He does not owe you that level. And even if he's trying to become your man, people have lives, right? We're not committed yet. And so they have a right to exercise their life and they will be in communication with you. And if it's been an quote unquote outrageous amount of time, that's for you to discern what is too much time. But when you say gaps in communication, what are we talking about? Are we talking about hours? Are we talking about days? Are we talking about weeks? Okay? Did you communicate with this person that it's important to you that you talk every day so that you're getting to know each other? That needs to be made abundantly clear. I had a client today. We were going through her dating profile, and one of the prompts that she chose was phone calls over text messages. Make it clear to people that you prefer phone calls. Many times women prefer phone calls. Men don't necessarily require it, whatever. But you need to make it clear to folks what your expectations are, right? And be practical within it when folks don't owe you anything. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back. That don't mean I'm going to call you back today, right? So we got to be practical in that regard. I appreciate y'all. Okay? Next. Forgive infidelity when you find out the first time that there have been several partners. So I'm just going to insert some extra words in here just so that it makes sense, because you guys know that the question queue is small. Should I forgive infidelity when you find out the first time that there have been multiple partners? Okay. When you find out the first time. So then I'm going to assume that this has happened more than once. So when you found out the first time there were multiple partners, are we forgiving? Let's talk about forgiveness. Now, I am not a theologian. I am a Christian, right? But I'm not an expert. This is my recommendation in regards to infidelity and forgiveness. This is my opinion. The words expressed by Alison are hers and hers alone. Number one, how much time, effort, and energy have you invested in this relationship thus far that attempting to save it is even worth it in the first place? Is this your boyfriend of 2 months? Is this your boyfriend of 2 years? Is this your fiance? Which is, by the way, fiance is like the most probably sensitive of titles when it comes to forgiveness. Because once you get married, you signed up for this, like for real, for real. Is this your husband? Is this your husband of 2 months? Is this your husband of 2 years? Is this your husband of 20 years? Now, I know folks might not like that answer, but yes, there is going to be a certain level of willingness to work things out depending on the time, effort, energy, money, children that are invested. I know y'all don't like that because I've seen people already practically cuss me out when I said this before. Oh, you giving people passes to cheat. If you're my boyfriend of 2 weeks, adios. If you're my husband of 10 years, let's research some therapists. We own a house together. We have children together. We have investments together. So we have to be practical about what we're willing to throw away and what we're willing to keep. So as a married person, I would say, and I don't like throwing that around because this is not, I'm married and you're not. That's not it. I'm just saying, right? Like there's a covenant. There's a level of commitment that does not exist between boyfriends and girlfriends. It is what it is. I didn't write the rules, right? Like it ain't me. So my willingness to work it out with a husband or my advice for someone to work it out with a husband or a wife is not going to be the same as a boyfriend or a girlfriend. The level of commitment is different. I was just talking to one of my friends at a party the other day, and we were talking about our Caribbean culture and how a part of the Caribbean culture is our dedication to hard work, right? Like hard work is such an important element. And I was jokingly saying I used to work at the Gap in Kings Plaza in Brooklyn, and we were there till 12 midnight refolding pants, and I didn't think nothing of it. Like, this is bum ass Gap. Like, why am I going so hard for the Gap? Because it's a part of me to value my work, to go hard, to do what I do with anything that I sign up for. Now that I look back on it, it's ridiculous. It was the Gap. I should have taken my black ass home and not be 17 years old folding pants in Kings Plaza, right? Y'all with me? My job now, right? Good city job, the level of sacrifice that I'm willing to give that has benefits, that has insurance, that has stability, that has a retirement plan is not or should not have been the level of effort that I put into the Gap. Your boyfriend is the Gap. Your girlfriend is the Gap. Your husband or your wife is your good paying job, your career that you went to school with or school for, your benefits. So am I going to recommend that someone who is married seek counseling before ending their relationship? Yes. When it comes to infidelity. If you're talking about a boyfriend, perhaps not. But you got to decide what's important to you. Okay? But what if there are no kids, no financial investments involved while being married, just paper and vows? How long people have been married? For 2 days? How come we don't have any financial investment together? That's wild. I got married in August of 2020 and we bought a house in September of 2020. September the 16th and moved in October the 3rd. Like how, that's strange. The kids part takes time and desire, right? But I cannot imagine by default, as soon as you're married, your finances are entwined. It's unavoidable. So the level of commitment is just not the same. I know that folks don't like it, but it's the truth of the matter. Okay? How to tell a male friend of 6 years I am interested in him. We live in different states. We'll visit soon. How do I tell a male friend of 6 years I am interested in him? We live in different states. I'll visit soon. So this is no different than if you were interested in any other gentleman. If you're going to shoot your shot, you're going to shoot your shot. This idea of, oh, he's a friend. I had the same question last week, as if that makes it any more like there's a risk. And the risk is that this gentleman could not be interested in you, and which makes your friendship awkward, right? So you have to decide whether or not you liking him romantically is worth the risk of you losing him as a friend. I'm sure you got lots of friends. You'll be all right? But other than that, the words that you use to shoot your shot will be the same as if you met a gentleman in the street. Okay? So, in regards to the distance, though, that's the part that actually bothers me. I just said this on a call that I had earlier today. I'm going to say it to y'all now. I say this all the time. Do not sign up for long distance relationships. Do not sign up for long distance relationships. I'm not saying that you're in a committed relationship and then your partner gets this great opportunity elsewhere. I would encourage them and then talk about next steps of how and when we can reunite. But if I don't know you or we're not in a committed relationship, right? In this case, this is her friend. They're not in a committed relationship. I'm not signing up for immediate problems. I'm not signing up for immediate trust issues. I'm not doing it and I don't recommend it to you. So you say he lives in a different state. How far is that state? How frequently would you visit on your own off GP? How frequently would he visit? So on and so forth. I need to know. Okay? That is to me more of the deal breaker than you deciding whether or not you should shoot your shot with your friend. So that's what I would look into. Okay? Appreciate you. Next question. What are some red flags when it pertains to online dating that I should be aware of? What are some red flags when it pertains to online dating that I should be aware of? Some of this is going to be a given. If you guys have ever watched MTV Catfish, if someone in 2022 is unwilling to video chat with you, then they probably are not who they say that they are. They're not the gender that they say that they are. They aren't the age that they say that they are. And they definitely do not look like the photos that they've been posting. There is no reason in the world that someone cannot video chat with you in 2022 or in 2021 or in 2020 or 2019 or 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. Come on, right? So that's going to be red flag number one, biggest and most obvious. Red flag number two is many times in their profile. Folks are lazy and they don't read the profiles. Men and women, this is not a gender specific thing. People don't read. And if you work with the public, you know that they don't read, right? And you may be guilty of folks who don't read. Read the profiles. Many times, weirdos, awkward people, or just folks who just don't want the same things as you will say so in their profile. They will say things like, I'm looking for a traditional submissive woman who is going to blah, blah, blah. If that ain't your cup of tea, they already told on themselves, right? If you know that you hate pets and they have mad pictures of their dogs, they've already told on themselves. If they say that they want to go with the flow and you don't want to go with the flow, it's on their profile. You need to read it. So flag number two is actually reading their profile to assess whether or not they have something on there that's not in alignment with you. If their profile is blank, that is a red flag. They clearly don't even care enough to write something that would have taken them 3 minutes. So why are you on this app for? If you can't take the time to upload decently clear photos in 2022 and to write a little something about yourself, then clearly you don't care about who you're matched with and you are not here for anything that's significant, probably only sexual. That's going to be another red flag. And then my final red flag for you is going to be people who never transition off of the app. So you have allowed a conversation to go on for weeks on end and no one has said, hey, here's my number, or hey, I'd like to meet up with you, or hey, are you available this weekend, or hey, can we get together? They are looking for a pen pal. They're not looking for anything serious, which is their right, but it's also your right to end those conversations early in the game. I teach my clients how to transition off of dating apps in less than 3 days. Anything longer than a conversation on a dating app for 3 days is a waste of your time. This person is not serious. Now, we can help them to transition, and that's what I teach in my coaching program, The Partner You Deserve, how to transition off those dating apps. Anything more than 3 days in those apps is a waste of your time and a waste of their time too. Understood? Understood. Those are the red flags with online dating. By the way, there are in-person red flags too. This whole idea of dating apps are the problem, and in person is foolishness. Dating apps are just the vehicle that allows you to meet people that you normally would not have come across under normal circumstances. For whatever reason, you're not in the same circles because that's how the world works. You take different trains. You don't frequent the same spaces. It is just an avenue. It is just a vehicle. It is not indicative of the quality of person. The same people that you're meeting in person are the same people who are on dating apps. And if you say that, oh, well, the last two chicks I talked to on a dating app so crazy, it's because your picker is off. You're not picking right. You need discernment. You need help in figuring out exactly what you're looking for in a partner, what questions to ask, and how to remove yourself when it's inappropriate. Because those two chicks were crazy and these two dudes were crazy are the same human beings who was at the party, who was at the club, who was at the game night that you would have talked to if you would have come across them anyway. Good. After years, I'm trying to date and I truly don't know how to start without getting hurt. Help. After years of trying to date and I truly don't know how to start without getting hurt. Help. So, there's a couple of helps here. Number one, it's a risk. That is the nature of the game. If anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. You are risking your heart when you date and get into romantic relationships. You have to decide, is lifelong partnership that's fulfilling worth the risk? Is it worth the risk? If it's not worth the risk, cool. Shut your mouth and be lonely forever and have your cats. That's cool. But what we're not going to do, and I'm not saying this is you, I'm saying in general, is complain and complain and complain. Oh, I'm lonely. Oh, I want partnership. Oh, I want. And then you're not willing to take the risk. It's a risk. Get over it. That's the nature of the game. Everything has a calculated risk. This is one of them. If you are hurt, you will not die. If you are hurt, you can process your pain. You can go to therapy. You can journal. You can listen to podcasts and YouTubes. You can do whatever you need to do. You will be all right. You will not die. As long as you have breath, you will be okay. All you have to do is process the pain. To me, it's worth the risk. But you got to decide that, right? Suck it up, buttercup, right? So now, that's the second half, which is without getting hurt. I can't guarantee that. Nobody on earth can guarantee that. Only God can guarantee that, right? So suck it up. But how to navigate dating, you're going to click the link in my bio. You are going to tap on the first button, the partner you deserve. And then you are going to check out that free training, which I just taught on Saturday on how to navigate dating successfully in 2022. That's going to give you the moves, right? The risk is always going to be a risk. It is what it is. You will be all right. You breathe in. You'll make it happen. Okay? First date, I like him. Second, not anymore. He accuses me of leading on. How do I prevent? First date, I like him. Second date, not anymore. He accuses me of leading him on. How do I prevent? You can't. That's how he feels. Oh, well, who cares? You don't like him anyway. It's the risk that he took. We just talk about risks. You liked him at first. You got to know him better. You realized you didn't like him. He feels like you led him on. You know that you didn't lead him on because you did legitimately like him at first and it was something that he did or said or whatever that turned you off. He feels offended by it. Sorry, that was not my intent. I wish you the best moving forward, and block if necessary. I'm not going back and forth with you. That's the purpose of dating. It could have been the other way around. It might have been something that you did or you said that turned him off. And he would have no qualms about ghosting your ass. He will be all right. But we're not concerned about the little feelings. I'm not talking about like your actual man. I'm not talking about your actual woman, your fiance. Like clearly, right? But you went out with him. You liked him at first. You didn't like him. You made it clear to him that you weren't interested moving forward. You didn't take him on another date. You didn't force him to buy you a meal. You didn't ask him for a bag. You made it abundantly clear you were no longer interested. If he's offended, just like I told the lady before, suck it up, buttercup. He'll be all right. It's the process of dating. You will be rejected. you will be rejected. See, Joseph, this is a part of the problem. Sounds like she never liked him. She said that she liked him. You're going to take her word for it. Just like you would expect women to take your word for it when you say what you say, we're going to take her word for it. She said she liked him at first. Things change. That's life. Sometimes you like people and then they say something or they do something that's a turnoff and you no longer like them. Sometimes it's the reverse. Sometimes you don't like somebody and then you spend some more quality time. You get to know them a little bit better and you realize, oh, they're not half bad. She liked him. She doesn't like him anymore. It happens. People end situationships, relationships, dating circumstances all the time. She liked him before. She don't like him no more. She told him he's butthurt. He will be all right. Just like if she goes on her next date and maybe she's the one who's rejected, she would have to suck it up too. It's a two-way street. Guy here on a 2-year contract doesn't like the UK, but says he'll stay if he meets the right girl. Trust? Guy here on a 2-year contract doesn't like the UK, but says he'll stay if he meets the right girl. Trust? All right. So, we just talked about long distance relationships. I feel like I talk about it every week. I love y'all. I know many of y'all are new. My name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Every week I do this live Q&A. I take questions the day before, not on the live. I see y'all still putting questions. I love y'all. It don't work like that. If you want me to answer your question, you have to put it in this green story between Tuesday and Wednesday. After I start the live, party done. You cannot submit anymore, right? You can wait till next week, or you can click the link in my bio and book a 30-minute session, and then you get all my time, effort, and energy to talk all about you and your situation. Okay, good. So, this dude, he's not happy in the UK. I mean, my understanding is that the weather sucks. I wouldn't be happy there either. He's not happy in the UK. I'm not doing it, right? As I just said, we don't start relationships as long distance. He might be on a 2-year contract, but if he's really displeased about living there, who's to say he doesn't end that contract early? Who's to say after 2 years he's outie 5,000 and you can't go or you don't want to go? I'm not signing up for long distance anything. If something happens once I'm already in the committed relationship, that's one thing. Great job opportunity, blah, 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 blah. But if he's already displeased, I don't need to be the reason why he stays in a place he's not happy at. So no, that is not good enough for me. I am not starting long distance relationships. I do not recommend it, period. Got it? Good. Woman dating a man 1 year, found out he dated men only before me. Should I stay with him? What's up with these questions? These line of questions are like off the hook. Woman dating a man for 1 year, found out he dated only men before me. Should I stay with him? That is absolutely going to be your choice. I can't answer that question. If him being gay or identifying as gay or what have you is something that's a deal breaker for you, then that means that it's a deal breaker for you. And you have to decide whether or not you feel comfortable dating a man who was, quote unquote, formerly gay. I can't answer that question for you. You have to decide. There are plenty of women who date bisexual men, who date men who are, quote unquote, formerly gay. There are plenty of women who would say that they would never date a man knowing that he was involved in any kind of gay sexual activities. So you got to decide, girl, if that's something that you can live with. I can't answer that question for you. Do not book a session with me to ask me this question, because I'm going to tell you the same thing and there will be no refunds. I don't know. I can't answer that. You have to decide what you find acceptable or unacceptable when it comes to the sexual history of your partners. You got to decide that. That's like a man asking me, my girl got 50 partners in the past. Should I still wife her? I I can't answer that. You got to decide about the sexual history of your partners and whether or not you're going to date them. Okay? Good. Are you single? Meaning me. I know you probably get that a lot. I really want to know. You must be extremely new. Outrageous neat. I can't even say the word because it's too late and this is so outrageous. I am absolutely not single. And I am absolutely 7.5 months pregnant. And that's all that I have to say about that. When is it appropriate to exchange numbers on a dating app? When is it appropriate to exchange numbers on a dating app? Okay, so y'all might not agree with me. Sorry, I kicked the camera. Y'all might not agree with me, but this is what I advise my clients, and it works as per the testimonials that are on my stories. All you got to do is check out the testimonials and you will see that my techniques work. Okay? I recommend exchanging numbers as soon as possible. As soon as possible, as soon as possible, as soon as possible. What does that look like? That looks like this. Even though I'm absolutely not single. Hi, Alison. Just came across your profile. Great photos. Thank you, James. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Just checked out your profile. It shows that you are a police officer. That must be a very dangerous job. Yeah, but I really enjoy it. I really like servicing the community. Wow. I'd love to hear more about the joy that you find with your work. Here is my number, 917-564-2579. I'm normally free after 7. Give me a call. That fast. Yep. That fast. Hi, Alison. Hi, James. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. How are you? I'm well, thank you. I checked your profile. I saw that you went whitewater rafting with your friends last year in, I don't know, where's whitewater rafting happened? Montana? I don't know. And then just last week, you were in Costa Rica doing zip lining. Do you tend to do adventurous things like this a lot? Yes, I'm a very adventurous person. Every month I have something new planned. Wow, I'd love to hear more about your adventures. Give me a call. This is my number. Yes, and let me tell you why. Number one, whitewater rafting happens in Maine. No, that's not too soon. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, anyone who's weird, you're going to block. Block them. Why are we being gatekeepers? Block them. They're weird, they're awkward, you block them, right? That's number one. Number two, I just explained, and I explain every week, that the same human beings that you meet in person are the same human beings that are on dating apps. You are on a dating app. So the same human beings you meet in person, good, bad, or indifferent, are the same human beings that you meet on dating apps. Now, if you believe me when I say that, if you believe me, would you spend 3 weeks standing up at a bar talking to a guy before you gave him the number? Would you spend 3 weeks at Coney Island by the cyclone talking to a guy before you gave him the number? Would you stay on the train and let that train go around for 3 weeks before you gave him a number? No. When you meet people in person and you like each other, you normally are talking for 15, 20 minutes before you exchange a number. The dating app is just a vehicle. It is a virtual bar. It is a virtual brunch. It is a virtual club. It is a virtual space for you to meet the people that you happen to not have met just naturally. Right? So, if you believe me, so this is the premise, right? If you say, you know what, Alison, I really do believe that the same people, for the most part, that you meet online are the same people that you meet in person, you wouldn't awkwardly stand at a bar for 3 weeks and talk to them. You would talk to them for 15 minutes, exchange numbers. You gonna go back with your girlfriend. He gonna go back with his guy friends, and y'all gonna go out the day, right? So if you would do the same practice within minutes of meeting somebody in reality, then what is so outrageous about doing it within minutes and maybe like 2 days, because people don't check their apps frequently, right? Then there you go. Okay? Now, Whether or not you want to give your actual Sprint, Verizon, I don't know, AT&T, whoever else around, is your business. But I'll tell you this. Do not use a Google number. 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 A Google number screams, hi, this is a Google number. I forget how it's like, this is Google Voice, whatever it is. And then that implies that there's a lack of trust. So I don't know what app it is. Maybe y'all can do the research and DM me. Do some work for me for once. Help me out for once, right? If you can find an app that gives you a secondary number that rings exactly like a regular cell phone, go on ahead. Feel free. But we are not doing the Google Voice. Or someone said you could take the Google Voice off. Good. Take it off. Okay? Please. But you're not saying, hi, I don't trust you off the rip. That's not a great way to start off. Okay? All right. We're doing great on time. And I'm hot. I don't have the AC on because it makes noise and it gets on my nerves. Am I wrong for feeling disrespected by my ex-husband requesting alimony when he is the cause of our divorce? Am I wrong for feeling disrespected by my ex-husband requesting alimony when he is the cause of the divorce? No, you're not wrong for feeling disrespected. Absolutely not. Especially if it really is his fault. We could feel like things are people's fault. Many times it's both parties' fault. But if it was like something that's clear and outrageous and he's the cause of the divorce and it has the audacity to expect you to pay for his lifestyle, you are absolutely right for being upset about it. Absolutely right. And anyone who tells you otherwise is bugging. And the fact that he has the audacity to ask says a lot about his behavior and his personality and his character and his morals and his values. But do what the court tell you to do, girl. I don't know what to say. Do what the court tell you to do, but you're absolutely right for feeling upset about it. Okay? Am I wrong for ghosting someone? My gut was telling me to run after the first date. I felt like I was being love bombed. It was too much mirroring. Communication was minimal. Am I wrong for ghosting someone? My gut was telling me to run after the first date. I felt like I was being love bombed. It was too much mirroring. Communication was minimal. Okay. I am not a fan of ghosting unless someone has done something offensive to me. So I'm not a fan of ghosting. I believe that as a human being, I can take just a few seconds of my life to send a text message to make it clear to this person they will not hear from me again. Now, if you're saying, are you wrong for cutting this person off because you got a bad feeling and you felt like you were being love bombed and it was just uncomfortable and cool, I support that. Run if you feel like something is not working out in your favor. If there's a disconnect, if there's manipulative behaviors that you're picking up on, run. The ghosting part, I'm not crazy about. I personally would not ghost someone unless they actually did or said something offensive to me, right? So if I were a single woman, which I'm not for the person who asked, if I were a single woman and, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I'm so argumentative. I still probably wouldn't ghost. I still would tell you about yourself. But if, I could imagine maybe if I was a single woman, I was on a date with a gentleman and he just started talking about black women and how we're loud and obnoxious and this and that and the modern woman this and praising these YouTubians, as Dr. Umar calls them, right? Like if he was just being like nasty and terrible, then perhaps because you directly offended me, I might ghost you. Really, I'd cuss you stink and then block you. But I can imagine that that's a reasonable response because you directly offended me. But if it's just not a good match, I would say, maybe even lie a little bit to sort of, I had a good time. Maybe. I had a good time on the date. I just don't think that we're a good match. I do wish you all the best. I just don't like the idea of ghosting because I don't want to be ghosted. If I'm the person who did something that was unattractive, you don't got to give me grave details, but I would like, if possible, some level of closure. Closure's not a must, but I would like it for myself. So as a result, I would give it to others as much as humanly possible. Okay? So on that note, I cannot believe that I got through all these questions. I got to scroll through. because I never get through that fast. Interessante. Oh, okay. I missed a question. Oh, I missed a couple questions. All right. How soon is too soon to have sex if seeking a relationship? Y'all ask me this every week. I love y'all. 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 Right? No, you don't need to have it. I would just like it. It's not a must. Okay? How soon is too soon? I don't know. You got to decide that. You have to decide that. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. You have marriage, engagement. You have to decide. That is going to be based on your personal morals and values. I can't answer that question. You got to decide your level of comfort and potentially your risk as a woman. It is what it is, of giving up the cookies potentially too early, and then what that may mean. But I can't tell you that a week is fine, a month is fine, 3 months is fine. Wait for commitment, wait for engagement, wait for marriage. I can't tell you that. You have to decide on your own when it's an appropriate time to have sex if you choose to do so. I can never answer that, okay? Been dating for almost 3 years. When is the right time to move in together? Been dating for almost 3 years. When is the right time to move in together? Okay, this is another one that's a little bit hard for me to answer, but I'm going to try to give you something to walk away with, okay? So, first of all, I'm going to give you the terrible practical answer, which is these are really hard economic times. Yesterday, because the rent's going up. But if, I don't know how old you are, but if you are following me and I imagine that you are in your late 20s or older, then if you are comfortable with moving in without being married, which is another conversation, which that's a question I cannot answer. Do not ask me that. Should we move in together before we're married? I don't know. You got to decide that based on your own morals and values, right? If you're okay with moving in together without being married, 3 years, I would imagine, is more than enough time to decide whether or not you're ready to take those next steps. I would imagine that. Okay? You got to decide. The financial situation in the United States of America or around the world is tough. If you live in New York or LA or any of these tough cities, you might want to do a little bit faster than you normally would. But if you're looking for an appropriate next step, which the two of you deem as moving in together, and you're in your mid to late 20s or older, then 3 years, I would imagine, is enough time to assess whether or not you want to take those next steps. Okay? I keep saying age because age matters. I put up a post that said something about imagine being a girlfriend for 10 years. And I had people say, well, if we've been together since we're 14 and we're 24, okay, like, duh, that's a given. We're not talking about teenage love. If you are a grown-ass person, a full-fledged adult, who pays rent and lives on your own, and you've been dating someone for 3 years and you're looking to take the next step, then another practical next step before engagement or marriage would be living together. I think around 3 years would be fine. And again, look at the economic situation we in. Move in now. Okay? Okay. Oh, she says, as a caveat to my last question, we have been talking about marriage. Yep, there you go. Okay? Friends with benefits. Is this situation bad? I came out of a 14-year marriage. I want more eventually. If you want more eventually, then go after more now. If you want more eventually, then go after more now. Do not set yourself up for a situationship, because then you will potentially be the same person who was ringing down my Zoom in 6 months or a year saying he doesn't want commitment and I don't know what to do. If you want more eventually, get it now. We're not putting off, right? Now, if you're not prepared for a committed relationship, because as you said, you just got out of a 14-year marriage, then you take your time in that regard, right? So maybe there's some therapy, maybe there's some relaxation, you join some organizations, you volunteer, you spend some time alone. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to set ourselves up for a situationship and then be surprised when we're in that situationship and it doesn't work out in the way that we see fit. Do not sign up for foolishness. Do not sign up for incomplete elements of your life. Do not sign up for failure. Friends with benefits are for people who are 19 years old on a dorm, on a college campus. You either want to be committed or you don't, but we're not going to sign up for the halfway. What do they call it in Catholicism? It's like you're in heaven, you're in hell, and then you're in purgatory. I mean, that's what friends with benefits is. Purgatory. Do not sign up for it. Yes, bad. You're putting yourself in a position where when you want what you want eventually, and he's comfortable and happy because he's been getting the goods without any kind of responsibility or accountability and freedom, why the hell would anybody want to go backwards? And if he did want a commitment with you, he would have said that from the beginning, right? But if he said, oh yeah, I'll sign up for the friends with benefits, the answer is no. An unequivocal no. Oh man, I missed a lot of questions on here. Do you have a baby registry? Will you have a virtual shower? I will not have a virtual shower unless something magical happens in the next 4 weeks where COVID goes crazy and we need to. And I hope that does not happen because we already spent a lot of money on this shower that we probably can't recoup. So no virtual shower. Yes, I have a registry. If you feel like being kind and you'd like to contribute to the registry, then DM me. Yeah, I'm not trying to push it on anybody. Is it misleading if I do not put the actual town I live in on dating apps? I only communicate the part of New York and not the town. No, that's not a big deal. Once you're not like blatantly lying, which would be silly, because what's the point of being on a dating app if you can't date the people who are around you? So like I live in Brooklyn. If I put New York City, that includes the 5 boroughs. It could be Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, the Bronx. Poor Bronx. That's not outrageous, right? If I live in Rockland County, I can put that. If I put whatever. No, it's not a big deal. That's fine. Okay, I think I got all the questions now. Oh, no. Goodness. After 1 week of dating, a man introduced me to his kids. What are your thoughts? After 1 week of dating, a man introduced me to his kids. What are your thoughts? I like to know the circumstances. Was this a situation where, because this is the only thing I can imagine that's reasonable, where the both of you just like magically met in public by mistake? He was with his kids, so it's awkward. Let me just introduce you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let me tell y'all a story. Andrew, my husband, for those who asked if I was single, met my mom like without meeting my mom. Like we did not do an introduction. My mom works downtown Brooklyn. Andrew has multiple sites throughout New York City. And he happened to be downtown Brooklyn. He knows what my mom looks like from photos. They were both online buying halal food. And he said, "Are you Alison's mom?" And that's how they met for the first time. Okay. That's what I'm like, a kismet type of, you was walking down the street. He was walking down the street with his kids. It happened to be, right? So it's like, well, damn, you already here. Well, this is Junior and Angela, right? But if there was a valiant effort to introduce his children to you after 1 week of dating, this is mad scary. I don't know what his intentions are, and I would run very, very far. That's mad scary. I don't know what his intentions are, and I would run very, very far. Okay? Because it is inappropriate for a parent, the mother or the father, to be introducing their children to potential mates. Y'all been talking for 1 week. That's not even his girlfriend yet. That is scary as hell. I don't know what the hell is going on, and you need to run far, far away. Are you a fast runner? Absolutely not. But I tell y'all to run all the time because you're running on my behalf. I need to do a better job. Okay, Ayana? This is the last question of the night. Whether or not it is, it's going to be the last question of the night, okay? I don't know if you got 2 profiles and you're trying to play me. Because what's the chances that these questions came in back to back and one profile don't have, click on these profiles. One profile don't have a profile picture and it looks like a fake profile, which I got a lot of those who follow me because I guess people are embarrassed to ask their questions. They think they're going to be outed. I would never do that. And then the other one has like a real profile with a real person with a real face and stuff. So I don't know. Because this is the same question again. when is it when is it appropriate to introduce your children to someone that you're dating? How I got that back to back. But whatever, I'm going to answer your question. Real suspicious, Ayana, real suspicious. When is it appropriate to introduce your children to someone you're dating? All right. This is my recommendation. I believe that you should introduce someone that you are dating to your children when you care about them. Care. Why do I say that? I need this to rise above the level of like. We like a whole lot of people. Can somebody tell Miss Des Richard how this thing works in the comments, please? So, when is it appropriate to introduce your children to someone you're dating? How does it work? I need this to rise above the occasion of I like. Because you're going to like a lot of people. You might like 3 or 4 different people that you meet in a year. You're going to introduce 3 or 4 people to your children every year for the next 3 years. That's 12 people. You look like you wallowed in these streets, male or female, right? But it can't be that this person is your committed mate. So it can't be like, but it can't be your committed mate that you love. Because if their relationship with your child is terrible, then you are going to be in a very tough situation. I love him. My children hate him. What do I do? And you don't want to hear my answer because it's not going to be good. Right? And it's going to be on the side of a child and not on the side of you. So we want to get to a point where this rises above the occasion of like, even if the kid is a jerk, and even if the kid is being difficult on purpose, and even if the love of your life is doing nothing wrong. Right? It needs to rise above like, and it needs to be below love. So I really like this guy. I'm thinking of getting in a committed relationship with him. Like, we're right there. Like, tomorrow. He about to be my man tomorrow. Let me do the introduction. Let me see how my son, my daughter, my children function with him in a supervised space. Let me see how he functions around my children. And then that will be the deciding factor of whether or not I decide to commit. I hope that answers your question. It's not a day. It's not a time. It's a feeling. Okay? All right, beautiful people. I'm hot as hell. I'm putting the AC on. I didn't want to do it because it makes a lot of noise in the background of the live. I hope that you enjoyed the live. I hope it was entertaining. I hope that it gave value. If you have any questions, I do this live every Wednesday, usually at 5 p.m. Eastern. But I had a lash appointment, and so I pushed y'all back, but I love y'all. And the story always looks like this. It's the same green story every Tuesday around 5. It expires Wednesday around 5, and we do this Q&A together. If you need more help, you're going to click the link in my bio. You're going to check out the free trainings. You're going to check out the free ebooks. If you need more support, then you will book a $1 consultation call. We'll talk for 15 minutes, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. The coaching program is a significant financial investment. The coaching program is a significant financial investment because I am helping you find your husband or your wife. Other than your children, the most valuable human being to you in your life. Cleave to your husbands or your wives. More important than your mama and your daddy. Yes. The person that you're going to sleep with. The person that you're going to raise children with potentially. The person you're going to invest all of your finances with, that you're going to establish generational wealth, who is going to bring you more happiness and more peace than ever. So if I'm helping you find almost the most important person in your life, arguably, it requires work and you got to pay. So check out the free. And if the free is enough for you, then good. If it's not enough and you still need support, you need hand holding, you need 6 months of guidance, then you'll book the $1 consultation call. Let's talk. Let's see if you're a good fit. All right. Love you all. I'm hot. Have a good night. Bye.